Welcome to the Faith and Finance, but also Money Doctor podcast, wherever you're catching us. Hopefully, both places. We're using faith and finance to really tell the story behind our businesses, the thing that we're showing up online doing in attempts to make money. So, thank you, Andre Barracks.
That is me, originally from
Oh, okay.
Brooklyn, New York. I'm a resident of Princeton, North Carolina now with the family and been here 4 years now, actually. Never thought I'd
Awesome.
be a southern lifestyle, but God has other plans than what we have. So
Tell us what you mean by that, because that's why we're here.
I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm north. I'm about that north life. That's where the family is and stuff. So I was, nothing against y'all, nothing against southern people or anything like that. Just I never
Right.
saw myself down there. But the Lord kind of moves and impressed upon us to kind of get a restart, and it has definitely been a blessing for us moving down here. One thing that a lot of folks were saying before we moved was, you have a decent amount of kids. Who's going to watch them? Who, going to get support? Because we didn't really know anybody down here. We had two couples that we knew from friends of ours that were down there. Aside from that, we didn't really know anybody. But
Wow.
as we kind of tapped into a church home, they became a network of just helpful people and just kind of gravitated towards our kids and us and had help. We're able to kind of like go out and do things, and people were offering to watch our children. We're like, what? What do
That
you
is
mean?
amazing.
What do you mean you're offering? You don't
That's a
know this.
blessing, actually. That's huge.
Because I mean, I love kids and everything like that, but if y'all ain't my family, I ain't about to offer to watch you. Sorry, you know.
Mm.
But folks have, and thankfully we've made it well down here. Work wise, it has panned out, as far as getting a stable job, one that has a good work life balance. I currently, a 9 to 5 is a disability analyst for the state of North Carolina. I've been
Oh,
doing that since 2023, so it's going on
okay.
2 years in October. And I work from home 3 days out the week, and 2 days I go into the office. So I'm able to be home and kind of take care of some things while I'm here and stuff. Sometimes I gotta tell them like, "Hey, I am working. I know y'all see me here, but pretend I'm not here." But even in the midst of that,
That's
it's still
funny.
been a blessing. Drop off kids and top off, and just they're very flexible at my job too. I have to top out for a doctor appointment or something like that. They say just make up the time later on in the week, just within that week, just make up the time somewhere. So I couldn't ask for any more, man. The Lord, He does, the Bible says, exceedingly abundantly above all you can ever think or imagine. He think clouds, He thinks the galaxies. And something I always say to my wife, we always say that the Lord is kind. That's kind of a tagline these years. The Lord is kind. So it's just been a blessing. Just got a raise a little while ago, early this year. So thankful. So my yearly salary is a decent amount. So we thank God. Something that I had requested or asked about or prayed about years ago. So kind of to hit that, it's like, huh, well, look at that. So, but it's been good. So that is kind of this story of us. So, what I'm saying? I'm down here, and family is still up north. We stay in contact. They've been. My mom has visited a few times down here. Got to come hang out with her granddaughters and grandson. So it's just been nice. Can't complain.
And so, how long have you been in North Carolina?
4 years. May 30th,
Okay.
2022. We came down.
Okay. And so we met then within that 4 years. Obviously, we met
Yes.
on, I feel like it probably wasn't day one of Threads, but it definitely was within the first week of Threads. Well, when Threads came out, because
Yeah.
that's the platform where we were both posting. And so, yeah. So then, okay, so let's back up a little bit. So you
Okay.
moved down here, a married man with kids. Tell
I
us
did.
about that. Did you always want to be a father of? Are you going to tell the audience how many kids? I already know.
We have 7 children currently. Um, that was not exactly my thought process. I was looking for 2 or 3, maybe 4, but Lord has expanded. So hey, what are you gonna do?
Right.
I mean, I definitely was looking to be married and have children and stuff. That was something that was in the cards prayerfully. So
Dad, do you come from a big family?
I do not actually. I have one brother, one older brother, and that's it.
Okay,
I have
so that is a change. Yeah.
two wife,
Okay.
is number two of four. So she
Yeah.
kind of came from the bigger size family with me. So it was me and my brother, my parents' older brother. He's 3 years ahead of me. And even after like high school, I'd say, once he got to college, not that he was never home, but rarely was he home and stuff. He was just out doing his stuff with that. So it was kind of just really just me in the house with my parents. So big family and just constant just noise around. Not my
Uh,
upbringing. Holidays was, go to auntie's house and cousins and all that stuff. Yeah, but regular every day.
So, what would you say your earliest memory of business as a child, or where did the thought to become a business owner come in?
I don't know where it started from, but from a young age, I've always said I don't want to do a 9 to 5 for like 40 years and stuff. I want to have multiple streams of income. I've been saying that has been something that's been in my psyche since however long I can remember. Probably high school and before, maybe, or I'll definitely say at least high school. I remember myself saying that.
Okay.
Sidebar, I play music, so that definitely, I play guitar, my main instrument. So I've always just kind of, even if nothing else, music to be a source of income along with anything else. So if at the bare minimum, whatever work I did plus music stuff on the side was always my mindset to have as far as income coming in as I grow up or as I become an adult.
Yeah.
So those are the first things I would say. I mean, the whole business thing probably didn't really pop off as far as in my mind until after college or once I graduated '02 with my undergrad degree, which is many moons now. So after that,
Right.
um, I was going to kind of do my master's too. I had my mind to do that. Well, I didn't really know what I wanted to do it in, and then I kind of got a sense I wanted to do branding or brand management as a master's. Started researching, looking into that. 2011 or so, I would say I started that. For what I wanted to do, I needed to take the GRE, so I had to kind of study up for that.
Mm.
Funny sidebar, the score I got in my GRE is the same exact score I got in my SAT, 1070, which is wild. I'm like, I saw the score, I was like, this looks vaguely familiar. Like, oh, this is the same score I got in my SAT. Look at that. And so
Okay.
applied to 2 schools. They didn't take me. And then I saw online a ad for Marist. They had like an online program with integrated marketing communications. Kind of leery about online classes and stuff. 'Cause I like to kind of be in the professor's face and ask questions.
Mhm. That's
But
interesting. Hearing you say that you didn't care for online classes, as you gave me the idea to do online
yeah,
classes. That's so
funny,
interesting.
funny how life works, huh? Yeah, but with online stuff, ends up being cheaper because there's a lot less overhead, right? Because you're not in a physical building, so a lot of those extra, I guess, expenses that go into courses and stuff, you ain't got to worry about. So I graduated 2014 with my master's in integrated marketing and communications. God has a way of just weaving things in and orchestrating stuff. Obviously, he's a master orchestrator. So August 2012, I started my master's, and once I started it, a friend of mine that I knew started like a marketing management company, and for reasons she tapped me and was like, "Hey, can you help me with this little thing I'm doing, stuff like that?" Because I wanted to get things. I was like, "Sure," and it was just kind of crazy because I told her I started doing the master's work, so I kind of got a good practice of what I was learning and kind of putting into practice with the company and stuff. So it was a little startup. It was nothing like major. We wasn't making real money from it and stuff like that. But it was good stuff to learn. Just writing blogs and stuff and doing things that branding related and helping out with plans and stuff of that nature and marketing. So the whole process of me doing my master's, I was doing this as well. So it was kind of cool to kind of learn. And after that, I kind of branched out and wanted to do something myself, which then was birthed in Barracks Branding Services and got that registered as a business. I got my LLC. I still play music, give lessons now, and I still play. I've done some recordings with my friends of mine that needed some guitar work on their albums and stuff like that, or on a track. I'm not the person to kind of like toot my own horn and be like, just say all the stuff that I do, but just happens that in the midst of conversations as I get to know people and stuff, they mention something and I do something. I was like, wait, you do that too? I'm like, yeah, I do. So
It sounds like something I've heard you talk about. The context clue was someone asking you to help them.
Actually, the context clues happened before then. It really led me even to do the masters.
Okay.
One thing I also did back in the day, I was an artist manager. My boy, who's actually a friend of mine, he's actually my eldest daughter's godfather. He's a Christian hip hop artist, and as I've been in music for years now, I helped out with on the back end, learning about copyrights and getting samples cleared and all the other stuff, and it's kind of the admin work and obviously
Wow.
coding and stuff as well too. So he was starting doing music and stuff. He's like, "Yo, would you manage me?" I was like, "I don't really know what that entails, but
Right.
okay." So kind of learned about that and stuff, and did that, and kind of taking something from Inception, you know what I mean, and kind of bringing
I can say it with you. Inception to
it.
fruition.
Here we go. She's learning, folks. She's learning. So doing that, kind of having that kind of, I guess, skill set in a sense, right? Managing and doing that, and kind of being a champion for somebody else. It's kind of essentially what you are as a manager, is really championing somebody else and really putting them in certain places and
Mm.
advocating for them, which is something that he also really credits me for. Like, there's a lot of places and spaces that I would never really be in myself, but Dre kind of helped me, put me in front of people and put me in stuff. Because you kind of it's an artist, so you wanna ride for your artist. You wanna tell the world this is this good person.
Yeah.
It was
I think
that
you sent me, I think you sent me some music.
I have playing my own ones as well. So it was that portion, and then I know a friend of mine was doing some stuff with branding and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, I really like I used to do a little bit of design work. I don't really do too much now, like graphic design stuff. So it's kind of like building something out, like or just even just going with the logo and kind of building out the backdrop of that, or like the backstory of it. So kind of think of all those things in my room one day. I was like, oh, yo, I should do my master's in brand management, which started the whole rabbit hole of what schools have these things. I'm a person that likes to help. I said before, glass always half full in my mind, and I
Yes.
like to just help people along and encouraging folks. I've
Yes.
always learned, I've come to learn that for me, two of my kind of tenets, or I guess pillars of my life, is encouraging and intercession. So with that, you know, kind of leads into branding and stuff, because you're walking with somebody and you're doing more than just branding, but you're actually speaking into them and kind of helping them understand who they are and kind of their principles and all that. So that's really the context clues that originally started as I should do this. And the goal, as I did the branding, as I did the masters, kind of one of the end goals always to kind of have my own business doing branding. So as I was saying, like you were saying, like my friend that asked me to come help along. So that was more of a confirmation of what I was doing more than it was a context clue. And I think I said it in my pivot lunch and learn that there's no whack idea. Some things need tweaking and stuff, but if it's an idea, it can't do for a reason, right? So I like to hear stuff, and I'm the person. If you tell me an idea, my mind and wheels start going immediately. Like, oh yeah, you can do this. Oh, this can happen. Or if you do this, da, 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 da.
Mm.
So that's just kind of how I work. Um, so that's kind of how that whole spiel happened and everything. So the context clues happened way before.
Yes, yes. And I will forever credit you for planting the seed about Dreamers Cohort. The technology made it possible to pull this together and even for us to collaborate. So, Andre, can you back up
Yeah.
a little bit? I
Sure.
love this. It is putting the pieces together for me because you just kind of jumped on camera and just followed what I was throwing out there. And then at some point, you begin leading, which was pretty awesome to watch, to fall back. I'm like, oh, okay. But I picked up on the man of God pretty quickly. You got to give me credit.
Thanks for giving me credit.
You got to give me credit for that. I picked up on it very quickly.
You know, do my best to live for him. So
We all have the replays, and one of them was before we launched. And you jumped on there and just said a lot of what you just said because you had been very quiet up until then. I was kind of doing all the talking. I had my little agenda. I'd ask you stuff and you weigh in. But then all of a sudden I gave you the mic and like, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want? I'm like, just tell the people who you are. That's when you start talking about, no such thing as a bad idea. That's the clip, Andre, that ended up on the YouTube Shorts page.
mm,
Okay. It was such a powerful message, what you were saying. There's no such thing as a bad idea. It may need a little tweaking, a little cultivating. That's like you're saying.
you figure that you got to keep patterns and stuff. So
Hmm.
reinforcement. So people hear it a lot. They're like, okay, then sticks in their brain.
What is a context clue? How do people know it's a context clue? How do they know to pay attention to this?
I would say, first off, kind of taking note of your own personality. That's the thing to start. Like what things you like, what things you gravitate towards, right? I think that's a start. I
Okay.
think another part of context clues is kind of thinking of your interactions over the course of your life, in different spaces, in different areas, whether it's in school, whether, if you go to church, at church, inside your family, with your friend groups or so, even at work, recognizing certain things that keep on popping up, right? So there's that. There's another portion of what people say about you. I'm sure you can say, Mildred, over the years, there's certain like recurring themes that folks give you compliments for, or say you're good at, or say, wow, I never thought about that, but you brought this out, or so, right? So those things, as well as context clues, right? And also, I
Mm.
would say some things that you find yourself being passionate about. Right, like there's some people like you're saying, you're saying I'm quiet, which is funny. My wife is also laughs at me a lot of times because, in essence, a lot of people, if they don't know me, they be like, "Yo, aren't you so quiet?" I'm like, I don't even think I'm quiet. I mean, I know I don't say a lot and stuff like that, but I don't think I'm quiet. 'Cause I know I joke a lot and I can crack jokes and all that other stuff. But I'm very much, if I'm in a new space, I'm very much an observer. I sit back and kind of like watch what's going on and all the other stuff and everything. So so if you know me, if you come up to me, I'll speak. I'm not like a church mouse, nothing like that. But
You're
I
not.
think,
You're not. You're not shy.
yeah, that's
You're
right.
not shy.
I just got to get to warm up and know you. That's not me. That's just not my personality. But I think those
Yep.
things are context clues. I think that just once again, what people constantly say about you. Oh, my point I was going with that thing that you're passionate about, right? So sometimes some people you think are quiet or so, but you bring up a certain topic and ask them a question about it, and they off to the
Oh, wow.
races. It's like, oh, okay, you have a lot to say,
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So those things that you're passionate about, those things as well is like, why do I have so much to say? Or why is it such like a light builds up in me when I'm talking about this stuff or so? And those lots of those things kind of tie in. It may be ancillary, it may be complementary or so. But I think
Yeah.
also just to realize that none of us are one dimensional. I think we have to kind of
Mm.
get out of our mindset to think that like, oh, there's just one thing that I do. Very rare. I think I would say nobody actually. It's just one thing they do, one thing they're kind of good at, or there's
Or
one thing,
one side to them.
or one side to them. Right. A lot of people, a
Yeah.
lot of us, we are all multiple things going on. You know what I mean? So I think tapping into that as well, or being mindful of it as well, I think is important. And I think the context clues really, I think, is really when you sit back because as you were talking on the podcast, right, of kind of your experiences and stuff, of what you've done over the years. Really, sometimes we don't take a chance to really just sit back and kind of look at the experiences just and think of the encounters that we've had. Because as you were
Yeah.
talking on the podcast about just kind of what you did is between growing up with your family, that family dynamic, what you saw your parents doing, the jobs, the odd jobs you had, and kind of different
Right.
spaces that you saw yourself in. Like there was pretty much all throughout it was an underlying of you talking to people and just being engaging with people. That is something that you just is just something you do, and I think
Okay.
as you were saying, you recognized it too. Just kind of, I guess, maybe in later years, I don't know, but you've kind of mentioned that yourself that you love talking to people. You kind of love just getting in there and dealing with people and stuff, which just kind of plays into the stuff that you're doing now, right? So
Very much.
I think those things. And I understand for a lot of times, life be life, and so a lot of times we just going at 65 miles per hour in the 30 mile zone. We ain't really stopping to think and stuff. Once in a while, you gotta just like stop and kind of really think back to once again the thing that you like,
Yeah.
interactions and stuff, which is kind of something that goes into the workbook that we did for the pivot workbook. Is like whatever your client said about you, what do people continually say about you? Because one person says it, okay. If
Yeah.
like 10 people say it over a span of time who don't even know each other and stuff, there's
Right.
something
Right.
there. It's not a coincidence anymore, right? There's some kind of empirical data with that. So how do we kind of pull from that empirical data and be like, okay, what is this, right? What is this actually? Is there a name for this? It may not be. Maybe a whole new lane. Who knows?
So, Andre, this is really cool to hear a lot of the backstory. So, that's what you do. You help us identify those things, or you help put that together. If people, let's say they were taking notes like I was of what you were saying, and then they do the work of getting some answers and connecting some experiences, you can do for them what you did on your podcast is basically present solutions.
Correct. And that's kind of how we now galvanize what we've learned and how do we present it to the world, and how do we package it as well, right? 'Cause that's a lot of it is
Yeah.
branding, how it's packaged. You know,
Mm.
even with that, like as I was saying before, recognizing the stuff that kind of lights you up, that really kind of inspires you. So those things are important as well.
That's awesome. It's been such a joy to work with you. And I'm so appreciative just of, you're right, you're consistent. And you do say this too. I want to help as much as I can. I've heard you say that a few times. Anything to do, we're not here just for ourselves. We're here for others, and I want to help as much. So these are recurring themes with your brand. And I just, again, I heard that after the fact, after sensing that, okay, I think this is a man, a guy right here. When he starts talking, it just sounds like, and then I start asking you for the benedictions and stuff, and you crack up laughing. I said, okay, he laughing mighty hard on that. Yeah. He gonna give the benediction. And you did say youth ministry, but it's the leadership too, Andre. I mean, with you being a dad, with you, having your family. And so, what are some closing words that you would have for someone who's looking at you and wanting to get to that next level with what they're doing, whatever it looks like?
I would say, take time and think through things. Life it gets busy. A lot of times you don't just
Mhm.
take the time to sit and kind of think over things and really write things down. Write things down. I'd say that's also important. Whatever thoughts, ideas, and things you have, write down. If you have a plan, if you have something, an idea that you want to do, get it out of your head. If it stays in your head, it'll circle around and get on the ride and all that stuff all the time. But get it out of there, put it in paper, even if you do it digitally, just get it out and write it out, and also connect with people. You know, um, Connecting with Andre would be great as well. Here to help. I do
Okay.
also have a brand essentials kit that is online that you can do, and that's for those starting a business. Kind of gets you those foundations. So those things that takes a little time. Once again, those workbooks, I believe in this doing work. Anytime, anywhere, it works with me. You get homework. That's what you get with me, because I'm walking alongside with you. I'm not doing anything for you. What I do is, I come alongside you, and we both work together. I may do some advising, I'll do some tweaking with you, but it's yours. I can't be more passionate about something that's yours, right? You have to be more passionate than I am. I'm just here to like
Hmm.
take you on and push you forward and stuff. But I would say write things down, talk with folks. Even go as far as asking people like what they think about you, in a sense of what do you think I'm good at, or what is something that you'd say is like my strengths. Even that, asking people like what are my strengths or so, and kind of taking a poll of the people around you, people that are closest to you, because for
That's
the most
good.
part they're not gonna lie. They're gonna say what it is. They've known you for years, whatever like that, and they've seen you in different spaces, in different arenas, different scenarios. So they'll give you good
Mm.
things. So I think just writing things out and really being intentional about your stuff and what you want to do, what you need to do. I would say those are things would be, and I'll give those are all links and stuff like that. So in the show notes when these come out, y'all can click on and see what y'all need to do. So some things are free, some things are paid, but
Yeah, because I'm remembering as I hear you talk about this, we really wanted to dedicate this episode to those who want to start a business, who, because you covered, like you're saying, your pivot guide was spot on for those of us wanting to do our business a different way. You really honed in on capturing what we do now. But for someone who's not doing anything
right,
or hasn't done anything, but wants to. It sounds like those were the first steps. Those are the things to do of what you just mentioned.
right. Those are some things you can do to get the ball rolling. And you'd be surprised that once you kind of get the ball rolling, like it starts as a small roll, but then soon enough it becomes an avalanche because things just
Yeah,
keep on coming and things kind of connect and more things will open up your eyes
no,
to.
it's true. And that's what I think does overwhelm people. They don't take action because they don't see it all from where they are now. And so back to the faith factor and doing things, even though we don't have all the answers or know all the steps. Well, Andre, I
Sure.
want to thank you for coming on Faith and Finance, of course, and just sharing your story that I believe will encourage some folks because you are doing it online. You have social proof of this journey that you just gave us insight on. And this will help them, hopefully, someone to take that step. Just take one step. And I believe the one step they should take personally is towards you with your resources because you're offering a free call, I believe. And look, this is for non-business owners, so don't worry if you don't have a business or anything. That's his lane. Is helping you put that together and make it something.
Yes, so on the show notes, you will see the Brand Essentials Kit. There'll be a link for that for those that are just starting out, need to get a foundation thing. So I have that. For those that
Okay.
might be in business already, need pivots, you'll get the link for the Lunch and Learn and get the workbook for that as well. So check that out. And you also see book a discovery call. That's a half-hour call, chat with me. You'll do most of the talking. I talk for like a little bit in the beginning, but mostly it's for you to kind of say what you have in mind, what you're trying to do, and see how I can perhaps come alongside you and help you out. And just help you kind of organize your thoughts and put some clarities to things. Clarity is the key to your success. That's what I say. So,
So awesome.
to that.
Yeah, in case they don't have a podcast where they could talk about it with you, they could get on a phone call with you, a
Right,
discovery call, and just because I'm picking his brain even on this
right.
podcast. I'm like, oh,
So
let me
she, so
let me
those
take
who
some notes.
cheated, she got like an hour discovery call where she cheated
Let me
though.
say, let me
I
take
didn't know
some notes here. Yeah, that's true. I did get hours. And so yes, and so we do want to honor your time though. Thank you, Andre, for squeezing me in on a work day again, with everything that you've got going on. And I'm just excited that we were able to build this asset because
that.
that's what ultimately our businesses can be when we do these extra things that he's sharing with you. And hopefully you'll come back. We'll
Okay.
have you back on for some future episodes. I
Definitely.
don't know if you want to give your contact information here in audio. Of course, we'll have it in the show notes as well.
Well, the website is barracksbranding.com. That's BarracksBranding.com. That is the website. Email is Andre at barracksbranding.com. I can't get my number out right now, but you
I'll
can
get my number out.
you can definitely on the website. You can also go on the website and book a discovery call. You see the link for that there. And as before, the link to the other stuff will be below these show notes here. I'm on Instagram as Barracks Branding, so you can check me out over there. Facebook, it's Barracks BS is the little kind of tagline or handle, I should say. You can find me on YouTube at Barracks Branding. I have some videos over there, and overall on TikTok is Dre Barracks, I believe. Yeah, so holla at me.
Wow,
Us,
that's awesome. No,
I'm
I love
friendly.
it. Okay. Well, thank you, Andre. Thanks again. Mildred Dillon, Faith and Finance Podcast. You can find Money Doctor again in the show notes. We'll drop that over there, podcast.yourmoneydr.com. And of course, if you've got a story of faith that you want to share, reach out to me. I'd love to host you. All it could do is help move us all forward together with you sharing it. All right. Well, thanks so much. We
You're
will
welcome.
see you next episode.
Take care.